Everything sucks. Okay, welcome back to what we usually do.
We bought Nerf guns.
Wait, where's my phone? I want to read the text that you sent to me the other day. When I have a Nerf battle when I get back, and my response was, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Of course I do. I'll be back around 8:30.
They're technically not Nerf guns. They're like
No, they're not.
They're like yeah.
We wanted to make a video out of it, assuming we do it in the apartment, but that's not a lot of space.
Yeah.
So I brought the idea of going to the school, the college, specifically. Okay, I gotta. Oh wait, what's our new censor sounds for today?
We got a few. Oh, are we making more?
We gotta add at least one new one per episode to add to the catalog.
It's screaming at the top of my lungs. It's gonna be such a fucking jump scare.
So go ahead.
I have one.
Yeah.
It's just like chimpanzees progressively getting more upset.
So yeah, I brought up the idea of like we go to the building I usually go to for my schooling, because it's usually empty at night and I can get in there at night, and there's like nobody there. It's pretty empty hallways, but we were considering it and we thought like maybe not the best idea. So we're thinking maybe we go out into the parking garage, have more open space, and at least then we'll also be able to see if there's like cars around, and if they enter.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like we get jump scared by them walking through the hallways.
I would imagine like a college student would understand perfectly well, but like a staff member would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I don't know how many staff members are coming in at like midnight though, back to school.
Well, if they are, they're definitely not like going to be like up for
they're not
the shenanigans.
Yeah, but at least if we're in the parking garage, we can get to the car quicker.
We can. Get the keys. The fucking like firing a taser at us. I'll hold them off as long as I can.
We didn't say yet. We were kind of debating between getting Nerf guns, like actual Nerf guns, or knockoffs, and we got knockoffs because they seemed like it was a better bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And we were correct. And bang is the proper word to use for that because they fucking shoot hard, fast, far, and loud.
They sting. They're unregulated. And we have two different brands.
Yeah.
Like that aren't Nerf.
And they're like equally powerful for the most part.
I wonder if like secretly they're all an umbrella corporation and like Nerf is its own competition. Shit. Don't say it. Don't you fucking say it. But like, so we also... We also had a revelation about Nerf guns as a whole. Like, they've really changed since at least our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I was a kid, it seemed like they were like just kind of like variations of each other. Now they actually have like Orbeez, like as ammo.
Yeah,
those things that absorb water. Which I thought those things actually like killed small children.
I'm sure they have.
Dangerous.
That's why they're 14 plus now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but even then, like, unless they're, like, outside, and I hope they're biodegradable, like, without water absorption, it just looks like a small plastic bead.
Because Nick was looking at those and was kind of wanting them over the just regular Nerf darts. But
Yeah,
we were like,
it seemed new and interesting.
But, like, it's messy if we do it anywhere inside.
Yeah.
And also, there's a cat here at the apartment if we did do it at the apartment. I
do
guess now that we're doing it at the parking garage, we could have done that. But we can get those in the future.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be part of the ever-growing collection, I anticipate.
Yeah.
I actually was like remotely inspired by this by a video I saw, not on TikTok, of like this dude who, I don't know, maybe it was like all the footage was strictly from his like doorbell camera, but this dude had a doorbell camera, and like a neighbor showed up one day, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're the new neighbor. Me and the old neighbor."
I've seen this before.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
The neighbor that like lived to the new person who moved in was like, "Hey, me and the old neighbor that used to live here would have Nerf fights all the time. Like we just both have a Nerf gun. We'd get each other, like just shoot each other as we walk by. So like, do you want to do that?" And then they started doing it. And then all the footage was just of them. Like
it was like day by day they were like escalating. One time he actually broke into the other neighbor who who asked him to play with him.
Yeah, the new guy
broke into his house, and the man's like, "Oh, too far," and he's like, "Oh yeah, somebody let me in." Yeah,
or something. So like he didn't break in, he got let in, which by a third party.
He was just not authorized by the owner.
Yeah, well, like another owner, but not that owner.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Shit. Nope. Not gonna happen.
What if I say enough that you start saying it, like you adopt the lingo?
I'm trying not to. Like it's
you felt the temptation.
Well, that's what like part of the me saying no, it's not gonna happen is like me resisting.
Because I actually feel like I'm okay about it now. like as time goes on, I'm getting better about it.
Yeah.
Because at one time I said shitting was as a joke because I let it go for a little too long and then I said it.
You're humoring yourself.
Yeah, but like I didn't need to. I almost forgot about it until you said it.
Yeah. I've awoken the beast.
I got it sucked out of me and then I spat it into you. This disease of
It's
mine.
a demon.
Yeah.
For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, every time I say shit, like in any context, if I'm around Luke, he'll go shitting.
Like almost instinctually.
Sometimes he'll go shitting, farting. As if like the action, the hyperbole is me giving a direct command.
Yeah, like do this. Okay, I'm doing it. Shitting. And this like stemmed from.
When you explain it, it doesn't really sound that funny.
Well,
but-
the thing is, that's not funny. That's the thing. That's why I'm trying to stop it because like, I laugh sometimes, but it's more of a laugh at myself now. God damn it, come in my ass. So anyway, so I got hit with a red shell, and then my red shell didn't work. So I think that was appropriate reaction.
It was.
And also, you're ahead of me now, so the atoms of the universe are separating. Electrons are flying off of the nucleus.
Things are wrong.
Yeah.
I lose a lot, and of the I'm sure you can detect that from all the various screaming sounds from previous episodes and in games in general that I'm in. We're used to me always like not even making it to 12. It's just the way it goes.
The finish line is a distant dream.
Yeah. I feel like this is the episode where we have to explain a lot of the things that otherwise are just confusing the audience.
Well, we came out the gate pretty hot with some topics.
We did. I mean, we usually... Sorry, I think
Continue.
I just had a stroke. That thing that we otherwise typically find ourselves engage in. We should make a podcast called that. Why can't I help myself with like interrupting my own thought process? I don't even know what I was originally talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say it always leads to you forgetting the original point.
Oh yeah, so the point I was making was like we should make an effort to explain more of what the fuck we're talking about, as opposed to just leaving this as background noise. Like, you know, if you're listening to this in your car, you might have some semblance of what's going on. I don't know, maybe less so. I mean, I've already listened to episodes in a car.
There's one of those moments.
Can we have a lot of my? Can we have a lot of my like shouting be sensor sounds, or like a culmination of some time? I'm not gonna make you edit every time I've ever shouted.
Well, like if from now on, if I get a clean one, I can cut it. Like one where I'm not talking over it or something.
Yeah, I mean, you can just like really turn up the gain on it, like the background noise gets drowned out.
I don't know if that's how it works, man. Because if you turn up the volume, then everything
the background
gets turned
noise
up.
also gets
everything gets amplified.
Yeah, I'm not totally familiar with how Fairlight Audio Effects works in Resolve yet, but I know there's like 4 video editors who use the software, who like specialize in audio. I wish I knew how they worked.
I just kind of know some tricks that like work for my purposes.
Yeah.
Like if I'm being silent and somebody else is talking, I can take video from me, like just one full clip up until I talk and have that be solid, even if it's not lined up with the audio, how like actually was. And then just splice up the audio, do some crossfades between them.
Oh, to kind of like blank out some of the awkward when we're not talking.
Yeah, and then basically just composite together a cohesive clip rather than have it be kind of broken up.
Gotcha. I mean, that's actually pretty clever. Like, I never thought about using like complete silence or like crossfading to make sure it blends together well. I've only ever just thought like, you know, cut out the silence.
I do that a lot for this podcast. I make us sound way better than what we actually sound like.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And even after that, we're still kind of stuttering.
When I listen to myself in your videos, like I'm like I definitely am aware of like I thought there was a longer pause in between all of those words. You know, we have nothing of value to contribute for this whole segment.
The next hour and a half of racing, we have nothing to say.
Didn't we get through all the prompts in the list last time?
We didn't get through all of them. And also, you could bring some if you want to.
I probably should. I mean, for the rest of this episode, we can get through them.
Yeah. I can remember one of them right now. And it was the one that I didn't have more than like a small story that was tangentially related to it, was hunting. Do you have any stories about hunting? Would this be a worthy topic to talk about?
So like I myself am not a hunter. I'm not even really like a gun guy. I just kind of like action games. I like science fiction, and they happen to coincide a lot. But I have been hunting. I've never actually killed anything. When I was younger, my dad took me hunting, and like he was just basically like, you know, conveying to me how everything works. Like we had a deer blind, and he was explaining to me like, don't ever take a shot unless you're absolutely certain you can kill it in one shot, because otherwise it's cruel. And there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm sure there are people out there who hunt that know all about it, but
I would hope so.
yeah, I don't have any like full stories out of it. Just like that's been generally my understanding.
Because the topic came up in an earlier episode, and then I just wrote it down. But
We did list it.
The only one I have that you'll see why this is very tangential, because I killed an animal, but it wasn't for hunting purposes.
Yeah. You've told me the story in real life before, right?
I think so.
The bird with the BB gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess that tells the story.
You can tell it again. You can just cut out what I said.
So I can't remember what age I was, but I was pretty young, like a young teenager, or maybe like 12 to 13 probably. And I was just outside with my BB gun, and I was just like doing target practice for that because I didn't have anything else to do.
Target practice on a living creature, you fucking animal!
Kinda. And then I was we had a little play set. It's just like a slide, and it has a tire swing and some monkey bows. And I was under that, and up in it, in the little roof canopy thing that was over the top part, because you kind of climb up for the slide, there was a bird's nest there, and I saw, I think it was two birds, like blank-mindedly. My BB gun was already loaded up and pumped, so I just aimed up there and took a shot at one. I hit one, and it flew away, and I don't know if it got injured from it, if the BB went in it, or just bounced off of it. I guess because I was unsuccessful with that one, I decided to aim up for the next one that didn't seem to notice the other bird went away for a reason. And I did kill that one. And then I was like, wait, no, why'd I do this?
I didn't mean to.
I mean, I meant to, but I didn't mean to.
Second shot I took.
Yeah. Clearly deliberate.
Did you actually think you were going to kill it?
I think, yeah, I consciously knew what I was doing, but
it just kind of sunk in what you'd done.
Yeah, I was like, oh, bird. I hope the other one's okay.
Oh man.
I actually at least this one's out of its misery. That one I'm probably injured.
Yeah, you've got to go track it down and finish the job.
Wait, now that I think about it, this wasn't the only story of something similar to this.
You've killed more than one bird in different situations?
It wasn't a bird.
It was a full-grown man. It was my neighbor.
It was my dad.
He was sitting there minding his own business, and I was like, what have I done? I tried to fly away.
This next one was probably a couple years later. I assume that one was more 12 years old, and this one's probably 14.
Yeah.
Getting to the dumbass teenage years.
We're still going through them.
Yeah, 20s is just teenage plus.
The teenage years.
You know how there's that patio in the basement? You go out the sliding glass door of my parents' house?
Yeah.
I was there at night. I think I was the only one at the house. And I just had my BB gun, and I was outside there on the patio. And there was a frog, and I just decided to aim up and shoot it.
What if this would have looked from a bird's eye view?
My neighbor's perspective, because they had the uphill vantage point.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of putzing around there. I see a frog. I just so the same kind of situation. I just blank-mindedly do it. And then once I realized, oh, that was fucking cruel thing to do.
Wait, you actually fucking just shot it? And
yeah, shot it. And I don't know if I should be admitting this story. Dad, if you listen to this, I promise I'm the son you think I am.
Did you tell him, or did you bury it, or? Can't let them know.
Well, there's more before any of that. Because it didn't die.
What?
So, I was like, oh no, do I it's injured now, so I have to do the thing where I finish the job, right?
Hit a fucking huge rock and
well, I just shot it again, but it didn't die yet. So
oh my god.
So I didn't know what to do, so I shot it a couple more times and it wasn't dying. I can't remember if I
was making noise.
It wasn't making noise, but I could see its injuries, and I really fucking feeling terrible about it now because I didn't know whether I should leave it alone now or I can't remember what I eventually did. If I just
let it bleed out,
squished it or something. Because I definitely shooting it more would be wrong.
You're gonna go meet Frog Jesus now. Each animal has their own version of Jesus.
But yeah, that was terrible, and I haunt myself with that memory.
You're not alone in this. I know I was withholding you basically because this is topic related. I'll wait for you to finish your story and then I'll tell mine.
Well, it reminds me of the beginning of like the reboot Halloween movie where he's like skinning a rat in a sink as a kid, and he feels nothing.
Did you watch that recently or?
Not recently, but that scene sticks out in my mind.
Uh,
Probably because of my experiences. But I think the difference
Well,
is I had emotion afterwards.
he was skinning a rat. You were fucking around with a gun.
Yeah, and then
It would be a bit different if you were like flaying it alive. You know,
and I had remorse.
you had remorse, but also like I don't think you were like fully aware of your actions. Like that, you know how much premeditation it takes to flay something alive.
No, because I haven't done it yet.
Well, my point is, a gun is a very quick, relatively speaking, humane way versus like injecting basically a steel blade into a living creature.
Purposefully causing pain.
This is the part of hunting that I don't respect because there's like, you know, there's trappers that actively do this as like part of the sport. They'll like, you know, find small animals, take their skin. I don't appreciate it. That's just my opinion.
I guess more general than that, just game hunting where you're not doing it for food.
Yeah.
I don't like because I mean it's like killing the animal for what, so you can put a head on the wall.
No matter where you go, you're gonna have somebody who like disagrees with you about something.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I state my piece when I say like, you know, we're not at a point that this is required. Even though I guess it is technically a sport, it's too precise. I don't know, to universally accept, in my opinion. So like people who do it like actively, you know, I guess I'm not judging you, but at the same time, I'm kind of judging you.
It'd be something I'd be like willing to have a conversation about with somebody who disagrees with me on it.
Yeah. I've heard all the counterpoints. It's like, well, the population's getting too big and they're building their army and I'm biased, but like
Oh, I couldn't tell.
the frogs are coming back. They gotta go.
That one I shot
That one I
when I was 14 years old.
He had it coming. He could have been a rapist. I mean, it's tangentially related because I was not hunting the frog and I did not have a weapon. Well, to me, it wasn't a weapon. I was on a lawnmower. And it was like a riding lawnmower, but it was an inverse zero turn with like the engine on the front and like there's one wheel behind it and it's like it, you know, it turns on the front. But it has these very large like chopper blades on them that basically it feels like a helicopter landing. I'm sure to that felt like a fucking like hurricane to the frog, but I was crossing the midsection between the front yard of my parents' property and the backyard, and the frog ran out in front of me. I shit you not, like it came
out of nowhere,
like, out of some bushes. And I couldn't stop in time because I didn't fully understand all the mechanics of like driving it. And I fucking took its arm and its leg off.
Oh.
And it was just standing there bleeding out.
Oh man.
Frog blood looks a lot like ours. It was just standing there bleeding out. And like when I got off the lawnmower, when I finally figured out how to stop it, and I tried to get it, and it just like hopped away, and there was like a blood trail of hops. Yeah, it was really violent. And I just like kind of sat there for a minute until my dad came out. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't believe I did that. And I never found its legs, presumably because they got fucking sucked up into the metal hell. So that haunted me for a while. It was purely by accident. I didn't mean to. And if I don't.
Okay, saint.
If I could fucking take it back, I would. But like, I understand you, is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I didn't. I don't know whether you premeditated or not, you sick fuck, but I didn't. But I still like caused more fucking horror than what one like shot would do, I guess. This is the is this the fourth episode we've talked about Michael Myers? Did we talk
third
about
or fourth.
Did we talk about Michael Myers before the episode about We Can Fix Michael Myers?
I want to say yes. Yes, we did.
So this is the
No,
fourth episode.
did we? No. I
And
want to
you're-
say this is the third then.
Is this going to be a recurring thing for us? We're going to continue to reference Michael Myers in some form or another?
Maybe. I was the one that brought it up this time. I don't know who brought it up previous times, but
I mean, you know what we're doing later, right?
yeah.
Like,
Oh shit. Shitting. I did it to myself.
look what you've done to me.
That was one of the ones where I didn't. It like just happened,
Oh shit, shitting. You could have said like you could have just said shit.
and it was so quick too. It was like I got
Yeah.
myself.
You get. Oh, have you ever scared yourself in a mirror?
You've asked me this before. No, I
Yeah.
haven't.
This is stupid, but when I was a kid, I used to scare myself intentionally all the time in a mirror
Intentionally?
because every house I've lived at, I have usually more than one light control in the bathroom. If you change the lighting to be kind of like dimly lit around your face, your brain kind of plays this trick on you that it doesn't really recognize the person like in the mirror because like you're not perceiving it from the same angle. I don't know. The lighting is really important anyway to it. And like if you do that and you stare at yourself in the mirror, you kind of get this like shiver down your spine. Even though you know it's you, subconsciously your brain's like, who the fuck is this person staring at me in the dark?
Yeah, that looks different.
You should try it yourself. I know it's like stupid and it's like something that a kindergartner would do, but
We just bought Nerf guns, man. Like,
that doesn't like make it less stupid. That just means that just
we're all so stupid
speaks
that
to
way.
more. Yeah, that speaks to us. Also, those Nerf guns are rated for 14. Well, maybe not ours, but like there are some that are rated for that. I mean, there's some big 14-year-olds out there. We're doing okay.
14-year-olds that could kill a man.
I mean, they
And
could.
have.
Can and have, yeah. Are we about to reference Michael Myers again? How old was he when he...
I don't know. He was pretty
like,
young.
Yeah, he was like 6.
He looked kind of like
That's
me
what he
when I
looks like when he
young.
was 14. Yeah, he does. Or at least in the first iteration of him.
He might look more like Sam when he was young. My brother Sam.
I think he looks more like you because of the shocked look on his face.
Well, when Sam was young, he had more like my type of hair. And it looked like we looked pretty close when we were the same age.
Yeah.
In elementary school, we had a lot of the same teachers. Like when I went in there, they would recognize me like, "Oh, Snowert."
Yeah. Your brother was a little shithead. I'm gonna hate you forever now.
But they would always say like, "Oh, you guys look so similar."
Yeah.
And we'd be like, "We don't really look that similar," but of course we didn't.
That is not true. And like your brothers, like few years apart.
But well, yeah, like we're 7 years apart. Of course, like right now we don't look the same. But
Yeah.
then I looked at pictures of him when he was my age. I was like, yeah.
I get it.
Where are we going with? Oh, Michael Myers.
Always goes back to Michael.
So my
Myers.
brother is Michael Myers. He skins rats on the daily. If I'm gonna be honest.
Even still,
He killed her sister. You haven't heard about her sister, but she's been gone for years.
Lucina
Why's it gotta be an extension of my name?
Semella. Seminella. Marca.
Just putting A's at the end of my family's names. Here's one that I have at least a story of, maybe a couple stories. What makes us angry and times we've been angry.
Yes.
One I'm sure you're excited for. Well, you got a lot of content out of this one. This could be a whole episode.
I do, yeah.
Good thing we're starting
we
early.
were talking about this
Yeah.
during that episode.
Should I start?
You go ahead. You just get it. We'll get it out of the way.
So the big one that I have that I always think back on, which is it's like a lighthearted one enough that I don't feel weird like telling other people about, even though I got very angry about it. Was I used to work at McDonald's. This is the one in my hometown where I actually like enjoyed the job.
Right.
Because I worked at one here, the school town, and well, there's another sensor sound for you guys. There's one day where we were just getting slammed with orders, like order after order, and I think it was during the
Was this the Big Mac story or
Quarter
the quarter pounder story?
yeah, and there was only 2 of us in the kitchen. We usually have 3 or 4 operating the kitchen, and then 1 or 2 doing other side things like getting other ingredients prepared, like baking some stuff in the bakery area for like pies and things like that.
Right.
Cookies, or somebody might go wash dishes or take the trash out. So we usually have a pretty good staff there, but today it was just me and one other person. They were assembling the sandwiches and like putting nuggets in boxes and all that stuff, wrapping things up.
Yeah.
And I was cooking and frying at the same time and doing other miscellaneous tasks that needed to be done in the moment. Because the quarter pounders have to be cooked always fresh, we have a screen that tells us when there's a new quarter pounder for each order. And there's a cowbell that goes along with it. So every time a new quarter pounder gets ordered, you hear dun 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 dun. We were just getting slammed with orders. I don't know if it was like during the Travis Scott meal thing where there's a quarter pounder with every meal.
I bet that's seared into your brain though, that sound.
It is. I will never forget it for the rest of my life. I haven't worked there in years. And I still remember it.
You'd get like a flush of cortisol if you did hear it though.
It was just quarter pounder after quarter pounder. And you can only put so many down on the grill to occupy the space and still have it cook evenly. It's like 2 griddles. One comes down the top and they press it for a certain amount of time so that they're always cooked the exact same way. And you can't put too many quarter pounders down on there because then it changes the pressure and they don't cook thoroughly enough.
Yeah.
So there was a point where I had all the griddles down with quarter pounders, maximum amount. And I was like, okay, I literally just need to wait for a second now while these cook. There's nothing else I can do right now. when these come up, I need to be ready to like get my ass in gear and like get all these ready so that my coworker can put them on the sandwiches.
Right.
And then as I was having that moment of like getting my plan ready, the bell happened again. Dun, 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 dun. It just set me off.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to hear that at the moment because I was in my head trying to prepare myself for doing more labor-intensive work, running around the kitchen, getting shit done. And I looked at the screen where the 1 quarter pounder was there, like a lone quarter pounder on the screen, and I screamed as loud as I could, "Fuck you," at it.
Fuck you.
That was the first time I feel like I've ever screamed in anger.
That's more like rage.
Yeah. Because I've done it since then, but it was for more serious things, like where I'm actually having problems with life.
Yeah.
That one was like so spontaneous that I didn't even see it coming. It just happened. It was instinctual.
Yeah.
It was a gut reaction.
I bet people were fucking terrified because they've never seen you do that before.
Yeah, like I hadn't even seen me do that before. And that's the crowd of people, like my friends that just know me for being the dumbass who goofs off, makes dumb jokes.
Yeah. If they weren't like immediately frightened, they probably would think you were joking.
Well, the person I was working with did not think I was joking. They were a little bit scared by me.
Chill, man. It's cool. It's just one more. I'll get it.
I think I jump scared them a little bit because they weren't prepared to hear that loud noise. Especially from me, because I was quiet the whole day.
They dropped the fryer.
Like
you were just stewing.
For the whole like 2 hours that rush was going on, we were just like in the zone, getting stuff done, serving orders.
Yeah.
Because we're both great workers. We were doing good. But at that moment, I just wasn't ready. And yeah, I hope I didn't mess them up too much. That was the first time I screamed in rage at something that probably shouldn't have set me off like that.
Yeah, that would do it. It's just like the most generic advice ever. Like, it's...
You push through. You push through.
Sometimes the pendulum swings that way.
When in Rome.
When in Rome. I mean, I'll think of like one example for the whole book just to start. What I'm trying to like, relate to that story. When I worked at Mancino's, for those of you who do not know or haven't watched our Sock Story Mario Kart episode.
Yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, Sky Cralo, and look up the McRib story, Mario Kart with Nick.
That's right, the McRib story. The sock is something else.
Well, that was in there, but yeah, if you want to hear the sock story too, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Watch it.
Yeah.
At Mancino's, DoorDash was like a relatively like new thing, or it was like recently incorporated. So we had a DoorDash pickup sound as well as the phone ringing with an automated message saying you have a new DoorDash pickup if you just answered. And so like they would just go off in tandem every time. And like if we got a rush, we couldn't hear anything because it would continue ringing for like a full like segment of like, up until you get a missed call from it.
Oh.
Which was really annoying. It was a similar situation where like, I mean, like I wasn't like quiet or like I wasn't goofing off. I was pretty serious especially when I was at work. There's probably been a couple instances like this because we just tended to argue. Oh my god! Oh, never mind. I actually made the jump for the first time ever.
Over
yeah, instead of like just going off the edge. Well, then I went off the edge, but the DoorDash ding went off as well as the phone, where we were in the middle of a conversation, like just one of a couple times, like that was like important to like what we were doing in our workflow, and all I remember is me talking to somebody. One of my coworkers. Then we got a DoorDash call, and I still remember it. It's kind of like a bling bling sound. If anyone else has DoorDashed on the actual delivery side of things, you know the sound. It's that same sound, at least for the DoorDash machine. But the phone is also like a generic like house phone, like a VTech sort of thing.
Okay.
And if you've ever had a house phone, it's just like that loud blaring like it's very loud because you're supposed to be able to hear it across the kitchen. And it went off, and a regular like conversation about like, hey, can you get on the oven real quick between me and my coworker? Like by the end of the sound, dissolved into like shouting at each other and like angrily because we couldn't hear each other, and like a lot of swearing, which was not an uncommon thing to hear at our particular location. But I just remember I wasn't necessarily, well, it's an anger story. So yes, I was angry, not at any one particular person, but just upset at the situation.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what was said. It was just like, by the time like the sound ended, I was like, will you fucking get the bread? Like, like constant yelling. It was something like that because I was yelling, like expecting the sound to carry on, but it stopped for everyone to hear.
So everyone heard, "Can you fucking get the bread?"
Yeah, or some shit like that. I remember a lot of instances like that where like I would be like fucking hustling around the kitchen with tasks to do and get pissed because I would like slip into some oil and like, my hip would like bounce off the tile and I just get back up and like keep going. But like I was upset because I just like hit my hip, shit like that.
It's the little things that, like, once you're already at a state of you're ready to get angry, and then one little thing pushes you over the edge. It's like if a little sibling is poking you, and then that one that's poke is like, "Get away from me!" Then the parent gets mad at you.
You like inhaled for that.
Yeah, take a breath.
Like, neither roar. Get away from me! Their hair's like blown back.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
They're just like, what did you do to him?
Which is funny because I was the younger sibling, so I don't even have that experience. I would definitely bother him a bit. He didn't have like outbursts, but he would definitely get frustrated with me.
It's like, oh, dude, fuck off. Like,
So I remember this.
don't talk to your brother like that. Well, he's fucking poking me in the eye. Like, what am I supposed to do?
There was something really dumb I did when I was like, it had to be single digits, like 7 to 8 to 9 maybe, where I would just poke him in the ass and say squishy.
Squishy? Dude, I did something similar to that. Tell your story, but
I mean, that's it. I would just poke him in the ass and say squishy. Be like, dude, stop that. Come on, man.
squishy.
Stop poking my butt.
Dude. Just fucking punch down. I would like make my hand into a blade. Sometimes it would be my dad. Other times it would be my mom. Other times it would be like visitors or my stepsister. And I just go like poof and like fucking stab them in the stomach with my sharp little child hand. Or other times, yeah, it would be like in the butt, or like I'd get them in the neck if they were low enough. And it was, yeah, I mean, it was hilarious to me, but it was very short lived for anyone else.
I would do that with my chin. A lot to my dad, sometimes my brother as well.
Carve them up.
I guess I just had a sharp chin as a kid.
Your chin got so strong.
Yeah. like Giga Ched face I got now. I guess we could also talk about making other people mad. Kind of on that topic now.
Yeah.
There's more about like when I was young and I just being a bother to my brother. We like to play street hockey, but like just a simple version of that, because we had that my parents had that driveway on like right in front of the garage that was just like that rectangle at kind of a slope, but we would just put one net at the end of it and the other one would take shots.
Just like run.
Yeah, like
the puck.
Well, we had a ball. There was like actual street hockey where there's a ball that you play with. So we had the ball and we had the hockey sticks and we had one street hockey net that we just put at the end of it. And one of us would play goalie and one of us would just try to take shots and try to make it through.
Right.
And there was a time where I was playing goalie and he was taking shots at me. And we're like, okay, the next shot you get in, Sam, like then we'll head in and be done for the night. So he was taking shots and I think he got one through and I was like, oh fuck. And I was young at the time. I wasn't swearing.
Yeah.
So it was weird for me to swear and kind of out of the ordinary. I guess I was still young enough that he didn't want me to swear. Like, just say fuck out of nowhere.
Don't say that. What? Oh, fuck?
Which word? Aw. Fuck.
The next thing you see is a fist falling at you.
Well, it's like an explosion. I don't have time to render. I just see the result. But he heard me say that and he was like, don't you ever say that again. And he punished me with making me vacuum the upstairs. Oh. Which was weird because
Sam did?
Yeah. Which was weird because vacuuming the upstairs was a chore I already did kind of frequently. Huh. So it wasn't much of a punishment. But it was like, hey, just do this to, I guess, pay for what you said.
Weird.
But then when my mom came home, she just saw me vacuuming the upstairs. She's like, oh, thank you for vacuuming the upstairs. I was like, you're welcome. Anytime.
Of course.
Yeah, I just like
it worked out for you.
Yeah, I played the good child.
Sam, why can't you be more like your brother? Oh, okay. So probably the most recent, like, I'm clearly in the wrong. Darian brought a 2-liter of Pepsi. Yeah. You probably actually witnessed this.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And I heard.
I don't know what came over me, but he was like trying to like chug it. I think people were cheering him on.
This was at lunch in high school.
Yes, probably in like sophomore year. I'm just like imagining it that way. He was like chugging this 2-liter, and he went to like bring it down, but I wouldn't let him. I put my hand down and made sure that like he couldn't bring it down.
Yeah, you like kept it tipping,
and kept tipping it up. Eventually, like it got so that he couldn't keep his mouth over it anymore, and just like it was just spilling all over the place. And then
Like over him.
over him, it went all over his shirt. People were filming, and I just took my hand away, and he fucking bitch slapped me after, like, dude. I guess I thought, like, I don't know, he would react differently, or he would find it funny. I don't know if I definitely in my fucking amateur teen mind thought like it would be more amusing to everyone else. I don't know if it actually was. I'm pretty sure people just saw me for the asshole that I was being, but like as opposed to what, him just chugging a 2-liter.
Yeah.
Don't you want a little spice in life?
The situation was funny, like
Yeah.
overall, because like, you know, him doing that and then you tipping it
think
and
I
then
did-
him smacking you. I'm trying to think of when I've infuriated other people. I want like actual anger out of people. Like, what have I done? What crimes have I committed
Yeah. I don't think like
that directly affected someone else's
messing
family?
with me in video games counts. I don't think that really counts. Because that's like on the regular. Whether you didn't do anything, I would probably be upset.
Because you just said that, this doesn't relate, and it wasn't even something that made you angry. But the Batman game was very funny.
I was just continuously annoyed and like a little like exhausted every time. I had him play Batman Arkham Knight, which is one of my favorite games.
It was a great game for what I saw.
Because it's a single player story based game that you're supposed to kind of be immersed in. He would not allow himself to be. He kept breaking the immersion. He would like during a cutscene like face the wall. Like, it's supposed to be terribly important.
Oh,
Get in the
like-
Batmobile and just like he wouldn't go where he's supposed to go. He would just keep ejecting himself. He would give me a little bit of a breather. He's like, "All right, I'll stop messing with you." And then like something else that was really important would happen.
Yeah, 4 minutes later.
Yeah, and then I don't know, like he's like supposed to rescue hostages or something, and he just doesn't. He like fucking lets them die. Dumb shit like that.
Or like I'm supposed to just like go out on a mission and I'm just like
Yeah.
chilling out with Poison Ivy, talk to her. Like, hey,
Oh yeah,
hey doing?
yeah. He's
What you in for?
you're supposed to save her or save fucking stop the situation. And he's just like hanging out. So you want to know my secret identity? He's like,
You coming after?
come here often.
Sadly, yes.
So that was the last time I watched him play Arkham Knight.
Last time you ever showed me a game.
Hey man, this game's really important to me. I just wanted to check it out.
Because you didn't introduce it as like, this is my favorite, one of my favorite games.
How
man.
did I get you back?
Give me back.
Wasn't there a different game? You were like, oh, I suddenly know how you felt when I was playing Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Like you would just fuck around.
I can't remember. That's how fucking defeated I feel. Is like I can't even remember the
You
revenge.
felt the need to get spite though.
Yeah, it was purely out of spite. I wasn't doing it to be funny. Damn. No matter how good I do,
That's climbing your way up.
it's trying.
You're in level now to overall. You're passing Toadette by the wayside. Is that the words?
Passing Toadette by the what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
By the wayside.
Is that words?
Wayside is a thing. I don't know if it has anything to do with
Wayside, you
races.
got just what I need.
The wayside.
That's way fair. There's a cat in the grease traps tonight, man. I haven't felt this in a while.
You're gonna have to explain that too.
Okay, here we go. So I guess back to McDonald's stuff. I'll tell the story, and then I guess that leads to the definition.
I really hope people appreciate McDonald's lore because there's a lot of it.
I would get into a loopy state a lot at work, working at McDonald's, just because it was a fun environment and something about the air there. It put me in it got me high. I don't know. One day when I was feeling that loopy state, I was by the grills, those griddle things I was talking about earlier. There's grease traps on the sides, basically things that like every time you cook a series of burgers, you can squeegee away the grease into the traps, and then once those get full, you just empty the grease traps.
To recycle into more.
Yeah. Hard pressed into more burgers.
And somebody put a fucking cat in that shit.
Well, that's what I thought. Because somebody walked by and bumped one of those, and it started, like, the grease in it just started shifting around. It's like a long, thin, kind of deep vessel of grease. And it was pretty full this time. Somebody bumped it. It started kind of waving around. And I glanced at it after they bumped it, and seeing the movement, my initial thought right away was, oh no, there's a cat in there.
Somebody put a cat in
Yeah,
there.
somebody put a fucking cat in there. I gotta get that cat out. And then rational Luke brain was like, Luke, please
Why the fuck would there
save
be a cat in there?
yourself. Like, get out of here while you still can. Because there's no cat in there. That does not make any sense. Somebody bumped it. You saw them bump it.
If there was a cat, it wouldn't be moving. You'd have no idea.
Yeah. Unless it was a fresh cat. Maybe the person that bumped it was just trying to cover for the cat that dropped in
That
there.
was the last few seconds of its life.
Now, every time I am in that loopy state, which is less often now because I don't work there anymore, I say there's a cat in the grease traps, meaning there's loopiness in the me. And that's kind of what I'm at tonight. And then we're going to later shoot each other with darts in a parking garage.
Stay in first. Stay in first. Stay in first.
Won't last long. I have a red shell with your name on it.
Well, now I'm in second.
Bitch.
No! Get away!
No!
Come on! Red shell!
Fucking Funky Kong took it for you.
Oh. Thanks, Funky.
Oh, I almost got you with the green shell. I almost got you with the blind green shell.
Stay away. Ah! Son of a... I'm not gonna swear.
Why not? We do it all the time.
I don't know. I'm not gonna do
I said come in my asshole recently. Like just 20 minutes ago or something. Gunshots or something.
it. Well, that's how you know we're home.
Yep.
I'm sure we say that every time, but it's just one of those like anecdotes. Whoa! I just got saved by...
Me. I bullied.
Thank you.
Quemstimmark.
Quemst. Isn't that... That's from something, isn't that?
Well, that's like a...
Question mark.
That's just like a joke, like an ongoing bit online of like, you can make something sound dumb or like draw it dumb if you put M's in it. It's like
mark.
It's like kind of cutesy, dumb, disproportionate. Instead of horse, there's like Hans. And it's like all
Hans?
stubby. Have you seen Hans?
No.
I'm pausing the game
Okay.
to show you Hans.
Show me Hans.
That's Hans.
Hans? It's like sticking up like it's getting like a leaf. How do they even get Hans from...
I guess that's the drawing it came from. Somebody photoshopped it to be real.
Have you seen I'm Buzz Lightyear, I Come in Pies?
No.
It's the drawing.
Oh, come spelled C-U-M. And
I come in pies.
yeah.
That's an old one. Is it going to be even more sus if we put the Nerf guns in like backpacks? So it's like inconspicuous.
I think we should make them visible. So we're not like unloading shit in the parking garage.
I also like
separating.
I'm gonna feel a little weird wearing like a hat with like a floodlight on it.
Once we get there, we can actually see how it looks because it might just be bright anyway. I can't remember how bright it is.
Well, if we play in the parking garage anyway.
Use that as like a blinding technique.
Yeah. What do you think the actual odds are of other people finding us then like wanting to participate, like getting their own Nerf guns? Like I've just been waiting for so long for this to happen.
It's low. I think it's very low because, like I said, I don't see many people there anyway.
Yeah.
But if it was gonna happen, this would be the situation to make it happen.
I can't believe that's not like a club thing, like an event people do. It's like, you know, Nerf battle.
It might be, but it's like it won't be a school sanctioned thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how are you gonna advertise that?
You can't fight each other. What?
No, we're foam dart enthusiasts.
The Foam Dart Enthusiast Club.
I like to see them up real close in my eye holes. Shove those darts in my ocular cavities.
Everyone wears safety glasses, otherwise this whole thing falls apart.
Slather them with lotion.
Can you check this out for me? I don't even know what it is. Might be just like a skin tag. It's not like discolored.
No, it's the same as your skin color.
I'm gonna assume it's a skin tag. Thanks for doing that. You're a homie, by the way. Do you ever need me to check something for you above the waist? I'm your guy.
So I got this weird feeling in my asshole.
You're gonna reach your whole fist in there.
Feel around a little.
Feel around.
Next time I ask you to shoot me in the balls with a with a dart gun.
I can't hesitate.
Yeah.
I actually didn't do it.
Yeah, I had to take it from you. Do it myself.
Does that speak anything about me? Like in the zombie apocalypse scenario, where like your friend is asking you to kill them?
Yeah, like I'm infected. You're not able to do it.
Do you think that like I would do it, or because I refuse to shoot you in the balls, I like definitely wouldn't?
I don't know if it's a 1-to-1 comparison.
Does it say anything about it though?
I mean, maybe it hints towards it. If I had to make a guess at whether you'd be able to do it or not, I would guess that you wouldn't be able to.
That I wouldn't be able to?
Yeah.
I think you might be right about it, because, like, obviously they're very different situations, but, I mean, especially if it's, like, somebody I'm close to, it would be very difficult for me to be the one that, like, their life is on my hands.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think you'd be able to?
I would have to embody that mental state I was in when I killed that bird and the frog.
And then feel bad about it later.
Yeah.
Whoops. Well, I can't stop now.
I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
Maybe a lot of people couldn't.
It's one of those things where, like, I think a lot of people fantasize in their head about what they do in situations like that. Like, if they'd be able to be the hero or be the one to be confident enough, be brave
the mercy killer.
Be able to do something heroic in that similar vein. Like, be the one to take charge in that way. And I think a lot of people want to think they can, but probably would have a lot more trouble than they expect, because once you get in that situation, emotions take over.
You think you'd have any problem killing a zombie?
Killing a zombie, I don't think I would think too much about that, because if it's at a point where it's too far gone to, like, I know they wouldn't be recoverable as a human, then I wouldn't have any feelings towards it.
There's just like a rotting corpse, like slumbering towards you.
Because at that point, you're doing society a favor.
See that? I mean, I still feel like I would have hangups about that though. Not in like, oh, what if there's like a 1% chance there's a cure? It's like, who am I to put myself in this in this position to be the one to like, interfere with this human life?
I guess the situation would be if your life was threatened.
I mean, if my life was threatened, I feel like most people, like I'm kind of selfish at the end of the day. I feel like I wouldn't have any problem with it. Or like if they threatened somebody that was personally close to me, but like if it was just like them and they were like in my way, I feel like I don't know.
Like if they were doing nothing malicious and you were just kind of passing by on the street.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, like I have to get like, say they're like blocking a barrier that I have to get by and there's like no other way to do it.
Like you might have trouble with that because they're not.
Yeah, I feel like I would be like avoidant. I would try to like lure zombies around with like bait as opposed to having to like just murder them outright, and just like generally avoid the conflict. That probably leads to a really short life in the apocalypse, but like
assuming the apocalypse is dangerous zombies.
Yeah, I just feel like I would have to keep my to avoid sullying my own hands.
I think it's funny how a lot of times in media the zombie apocalypse is portrayed as like the zombies are going to be dangerous, like they're gonna try to attack people, and
in the real life, zombies are hardly gonna be the issue.
Yeah, becoming one would be a problem because like you're disease-ridden, your skin wears away, all that kind of stuff. But the idea of like them attacking, they're probably just gonna be sitting around, like falling apart on the ground.
They're just like a shambling corpse. They technically speaking, they should be blind, deaf, and like incapable of any other sense. But say it's like an insanity thing. Like if there was like,
so they can't feel me if I try to sneak a kiss.
Zombie kiss.
Zombie punch.
Zombie punch. What was that last one? Oh, zombie kick.
No, before that. Zombie punch?
Zombie punch.
No, something else. Should we explain that? Game Grumps Spider-Man.
That's not ours to explain.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got a little too specific in the scenario where like I'm like the fucking lone survivor. I'm definitely not going to be. I'm gonna be like
first gone.
Yeah, the first gone. But if by chance I'd be a fucking bundle of nerfs all the time.
I mean, that wouldn't be uncommon though. The questions of morality and killing zombies aside, just the situation is gonna be terrifying.
Yeah. Well, in this country, I have no doubt that there are people out there that are like waiting for it, and they're totally serious about. Like, yep, I knew I was ready. I knew I was born for something.
There's no other voice for that than that one. For that situation, of that character.
Oh, man. I was just waiting for this.
Look at this. This is the X shot from Walmart.
The X shot. Put a hole in a goddamn truck.
Goes up to 80 feet.
80 feet. Even if I don't buy another one, like, immediately, I'm going to go back and look. Like, probably tomorrow.
It's going to be one of those things that you just kind of, like, gaze at. Like, oh, those are fun.
Yeah. I'm like,
I like those.
I'm definitely gonna get around to the gel shot at some point.
Yeah, definitely. This is very casual, not having to pick courses.
Yeah,
we just do all of them once.
Yeah, that's probably what's also speeding it along. It's like usually we fuck around.
Yeah, there's like up to a minute of time in between each one, and that adds 16 minutes if we do one.
Asking redundant questions like, "Oh, did I already give the controller to you?"
Yeah.
Like, what does it fucking matter?
Did I pick that last one? You picked the last one. We already did that one. Hold on, we did this one last time. I want to pick one that we haven't done in a while. I'm kind of feeling. Wait, no, I'm feeling kind of like this one. But this one doesn't really fit the vibe today, you know?
I don't know that we've ever gone...
No,
we haven't put that much thought into anything ever.
I'm exaggerating a bit, but it just runs on a bit sometimes.
It does.
And this one, we get to see the whole tour of Mushroom Kingdom.
We do.
And, like, London or wherever else we go.
London. Ah, yes. The neighboring kingdom to the Mushroom Kingdom. Wessex.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
Going? See, I switched up now. Taking other words.
Doesn't...
Am I expanding the joke and make it funnier? You're not laughing. You should be laughing now. Time to laugh. There you go.
I'm waiting.
I'll cut that and put it closer to when I made the joke.
Don't.
I have the power here. This is my channel.
I'll create a bunch of fucking accounts and flag the video.
I'll create accounts to make you... to report you for falsely reporting me.
All of my fake accounts that you'll be able to find.
I'll hack into your accounts and make them subscribe to me.
Ah, you pooper.
Pooping.
Dude, I'm so clenched right now.
Yeah. I'm loose. I'm letting everything fall out. Because I'm the pooper.
I'm coming after you.
Coming after those loose bowels. And get a sniff.
Get out of my head, man. If I was actually good, this might be terrifying for you. Ah!
Yes!
God damn it!
Solidify my
No! There's your sensor sound.
Vico Tori! Oh, I had one other thing to add because last time we were talking about what makes us uncomfortable. I had one thing to add to that, which I didn't think about. It's more of a physical uncomfort than a situational uncomfort. A lot of times when I make eye contact with somebody, I feel the need to blink more, especially if it's they look away for a minute and then they look back at me and then they look away for a minute. Like it's kind of broken up eye contact.
Like it's a conscious thing?
Not conscious. It just like happens. Like I just start blinking more. My eyes become irritated
Huh.
when they look at me specifically. Then when they look away, my eyes become relaxed.
Do you have a specific instance of this, or?
I mean, it happens pretty often. I guess an instance would be like in my classroom, if like there's a lecture going on and teachers like kind of getting input from students, like in a smaller classroom, not like a whole lecture hall type thing. I'm like having conversation with the teacher. He's like looking around the room, and then he kind of comes back to me to finish on a point that I asked about.
Okay.
If he's looking at me, then I start to blink a lot. Like my eyes become irritated and I blink a lot.
But you weren't up until he...
Yeah. Then he looks away again, looks at the rest of the classroom, and my eyes become fine. If he returns to looking at me again, I start blinking more. I don't know why.
And you notice this as it's happening?
Yes, it happens all the time. It doesn't happen every single conversation, but it happens very frequently, like at least once a day.
I guess I don't really notice it, but maybe you're like comfortable around me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it happens more with you.
But I do sort of understand that, like, it's not like a judgment of other people or like something I'm doing or willingly. But if I am like if I'm like having a conversation with somebody, making eye contact with them up close, then I'm usually focused on their eyes. I guess it all depends on like their personality or like my impression of them. If like for whatever reason, it could be even like a dominance thing. If I feel like they're asserting dominance over me, then I will like break eye contact and my eyes will like water, or I guess I'll like blink a little bit because it's like I kind of like looked too closely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just I'm not really one to, I guess, ask about it. Just like it's something I've noticed. Like people can kind of get that effect. Sometimes I guess it goes the other way around, and like people will break eye contact with me if maybe they feel like I've asserted dominance over them. But it's not a conscious thing. It's just like I'll avert my gaze and look at something else while I talk to them, just because it's like like I'm resolving something.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen with me when I'm maintaining full eye contact, or if it's just like a glance.
Yeah.
Like if you were somebody else and I like just did this where I look at you for a second, that's not a problem. And I think it happens less when I'm talking.
Right.
It's when I'm listening to somebody else and they look at me.
I noticed as like a thing that I do as like a mechanism is I'll start talking more if I wasn't before to try to like
Cover yourself.
Yeah, cover myself. I did hear a thing. I heard like I don't know if it's a study. I want to say like the source is Good Mythical Morning. Friends who you're closer with though, you'll look at like you'll give less eye contact with them, especially if you're like doing more activities together, because you're generally looking at the activity.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's probably like not sourced very well, and I'm sure like the idea behind the study was different, but I feel like that's what I remember taking from it, is that like when you are like friends with somebody, or it's like, you know, somebody you have like a relationship with in any capacity, you more often than not don't look at them because you're often doing something together.
Yeah. I think that's a thing, like a way to see if people are comfortable with each other if they're hanging out and they don't look at each other that much. Because I think eye contact is something that's meant to help establish a connection, like some sort of relationship or friendship with somebody.
That makes sense.
So once that's been established, there's no need to do it anymore.
Yeah. I'm sure other people have different views. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe there are friends out there who would prefer to look at each other.
Yeah.
But
make non-stop eye contact. Never close their eyes.
It makes me uncomfortable to think about that.
Yeah.
It makes my eyes water. I can corroborate eye contact is more important for establishing relationships than it is for like maintaining them, because it's the same thing with like shaking somebody's hand, which doesn't really happen in today's world more often than like a professional setting. But like if you ever like grab somebody's hand and they don't give you what you expect, like a fish hand, or they have a fucking iron grip, and it's like, God damn, okay, this relationship is not going to go the way I thought it was, I guess.
I get a lot from adult men. They like really squeeze the hand. I don't know. I feel like I give like a decently firm handshake.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to squeeze as hard as I can, but like if I'm shaking your hand, I'm gonna shake your hand. But then a lot of the adult guys that I shake hands with, it's like they're in a competition, like trying to squeeze my hand, like show, hey, I'm older than you and I'm stronger than you.
Yeah, I mean that's the simplest way to like do it if you're gonna try to assert dominance. I've also had the opposite though, where like I feel bad because I went for like a regular handshake, and I intended on actually shaking their hand, but they just like held my hand, or like they just cupped my palm and didn't shake.
Just kind of felt it.
Yeah, so it feels like I'm taking them for a joyride.
Spin around in a circle.
And then I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? It feels like they're going to be disingenuous for the whole relationship.
And they make constant eye contact.
Yeah, and then my eyes are
Staring at you.
like fucking soaked. Looks like I pissed my pants.
From your eyes. It's incredible.
It's like the one's like the filter.
Look at this freak. He's pissed his pants through his eyes.
You freak, you're a freak.
Wait, what filter?
I think it's like a TikTok filter. I don't know where it comes. It's like
I'm not on TikTok.
it's one of the like the meme format filters that like have it over your face. It just affects your eyes and they look really red and puffy.
Oh. Also, seeing stuff with eyes like that, where like I can tell somebody else's eyes are sensitive or irritated,
Makes your eyes sensitive.
Yeah, that makes my eyes water.
Yeah.
Even thinking about it, thinking about the image of somebody's eyes looking like that,
It makes my eyes at least itchy.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an itch that's like somewhere inside your body that you can't reach?
Very
It
uncomfortable.
drives you
Like
crazy.
trying to push through the skin.
Yeah, and it's like in the middle of your palm. You're like, now I have to put a pencil through my hand.
Yeah. Just gotta cut this open. That
Or like it's under your collarbone.
there's ants under your skin. There's ants under your skin. Take it off. Take off your skin. Take off your skin. There's ants under your skin.
It's a spider in here. You gotta kill yourself. It's a spider in here. I have a classmate who we have a running joke about that because during field school we had an incident with a river spider. Which, if you ever seen one of those things, they're harmless, but they are fucking like the size of my hand.
River spider?
Well,
Can you describe it?
so it's just a form of an arachnid that they inhabit like rivers or nearby water bodies because their insects are all like. I thought I could move that. My big body. I can move that.
Big, juicy, muscly body.
Let's
Continue.
get back to river spiders. Because we were right by a body of water, there was a lot of them. They're just like a generally big, kind of intimidating spider. They're harmless to people. It's like a bee sting if you get bit, but they are scary. Every time we'd like move like logs or like cut grass away, we'd see our fair share of them. And one time we had a wheelbarrow and we were clearing out more logs to like open up more area to be able to access to dig. And there was one like in the wheelbarrow just like hanging out. And like he did that thing where we all kind of collectively looked away, and he was gone.
Oh no!
And when we turned back, like he still wasn't gone, but like my classmate began moving the wheelbarrow. We saw he was on his back.
Oh yeah. You have told me about this.
We didn't like flip out or anything. We just like brushed it off his back. And we said, "Oh hey, it was on your back." And he's like, "What? Is it gone?" After we like clearly said like it's gone. And then just the running joke was like, "Oh, Ian, it's on your face now, Ian. It's going inside your brain. The spider, you got to kill yourself, Ian. Like that's the only way out.
You can't let a spider live in your ears.
You can't have that. That's not natural."
What's wrong with you?
I really hope he doesn't watch this because I have told him about your channel.
Do you want me to actually bleep out his name?
That is up to you.
Okay. Make a judgment call when I edit this. There's always one memory I have of spiders doing that, where they just disappear out of nowhere. When I was living at my parents' house, I lived downstairs, so I felt very comfortable downstairs, and we had that old ass couch before.
Yeah.
I was sitting on like 2 cushions away from the armrest, and on the cushion between me and the armrest I just saw a spider there.
Oh boy.
And it wasn't a big one, but I have arachnophobia to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I kind of freaked out and stood up and just looked at it. I was like, I was trying to get my game plan of what I was going to do about it. Like, is there like a tissue box I can smack it? So I get up and I'm looking around trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I see there's a tissue box behind me on the table. I'm going to turn around, grab that.
It.
Yeah. And then I'll get back and I'll smack it and, pick it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of the couch cushion. I don't know if you remember that couch very well.
I do.
But
It's sort of curved around. And it was like a khaki brown color.
yeah, and the cushions were pretty large. It was right in the middle. So it had like the most distance from anywhere it could run. I turned around. I'm going to show you. This is how fast it was. So say it's like the spider's there.
Okay.
And the thing I'm going to grab is the tissue box I'm going to grab is behind me. This is how fast it was. It's in the middle of the cushion. And it's gone. Like literally a second.
It must have fucking knew. Like you're like keeping an eye on it.
Maybe my mind has exaggerated it because like it felt really quick in the moment, but it really It was right there. The tissue box was right there. And I went to grab it. I got it. I turned around. And it was gone. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I checked underneath the cushions. It wasn't there.
It can't be far.
It got far. It got far. It got at least that distance.
You just see like you hear like a quiet puff, and like you turn around on the pool table. There's just like a cigarette being held by like some like, looking for someone.
That kind of thing happened a lot in that house because the house was like in the woods.
Yeah,
it was surrounded by wooded area.
Your neighbors with the wildlife.
Yeah, there was always insects around, and a lot of times they would get in the house, and so that meant there would be some spiders in the house. And there would be a lot of times where I would see a spider, I would try to do something about it. I might have to like leave for a little bit longer to grab something to smack it with or like catch it with.
Yeah.
And by the time I get there, it's gone, and I can't find it anywhere. And I just don't go in that area for a few days. If it was in my bedroom, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm using the living room from now on.
Just sleeping downstairs.
Yeah, sleeping downstairs, doing anything but going into my room except for clothes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it didn't get into my clothes. Maybe I can use the dirty laundry a couple days extra.
Hopefully it didn't get into my clothes.
Yeah. There was like a winter that I left my shoes outside, like on the porch. As spring came along, I was like, okay, I probably should like just clean out those shoes a little bit and get them dry, and then I can start using them again. And I pick them up and I look inside and I realize there's a spider. I don't know what type it was. I don't remember what it looked like. I just remember the size because it was about that big, and it made a whole fucking web nest in there. And I dropped it and I was like, no.
Well, all right then.
Please no.
Time to burn everything and everyone.
And the funny thing is, I did end up hesitantly washing out the shoes. I basically held them from the bottom. Like, there's only the one that had
like
the spider in it.
In the sink.
But I held them out in the bottom. I brought them out to the yard and just like blast them with the hose. I got in there and I watched the spider like flood out of it.
Yeah.
Be carried away in a river of hose water. I still didn't wear the shoes though, because I was like, they had a spider in them. And it could happen again.
It's contaminated.
I'll get new shoes. I don't like spiders.
You can't even like touch them. I don't either. I'm really glad somebody else is talking about it finally, because like I'm not afraid of like snakes. I'm not afraid of like small animals, but spiders.
Snakes.
Spiders just give me this irrational like discomfort and or fear.
Yeah.
Especially like the bigger they are or the creepier they are.
I can hold a tiny spider in my hand. If it's like a little baby spider, I can like have it crawl in my hand and be like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But once they get to a certain size and once they get like a certain body shape and leg length, like the jaggedness to some of their legs and like the thickness,
they look
being hairy.
They look weapon based.
A bulbous body. There's a lot of things that about them once they get to an adult age.
They look gross.
Well, there's a lot of other gross shit around that I'm not as scared of.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm hungry. Let's do some Halo Reach later.